Hi students, how are you? So in part 3 in chemical equations and reactions, today we will learn about what is a change and what is a physical change and chemical change. In lower classes, around in 6th, 7th class, you have studied about temporary change and permanent change. What are the examples for temporary changes? Seasons, day and night. Okay, these are all examples for temporary changes. Okay, and again coming to permanent change, milk changing to curd, breaking glass or tearing paper, burning wood. These are all permanent changes. So what difference we have understand there means in temporary change, the original substance can be regained. Understand that? So what is meant by regain? So if you take ice, okay, for example, ice తీసుకున్నాం. Ice ని ఓపెన్ లో పెట్టామంటే ఓపెన్ ప్లేస్ లో ఐస్ చేంజెస్ ఇంటూ వాటర్. ఓకే, తర్వాత మళ్ళీ వాటర్ తీసుకెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ ఫ్రీజర్ లో పెడితే వాటర్ అగైన్ చేంజెస్ ఇంటూ ఐస్. So that is original substance will be regained. These type of changes are called temporary changes. Understand everyone? And permanent changes. So milk changing to curd, and again curd will not convert into milk. So change once happened, it's happened. Okay, it cannot be reversed. These changes are called permanent changes. Understand? So first, what is a change? What is a change? So change ante enti? So change means any alteration. Alteration ante marpu. Okay na? So any alteration in physical properties like color, shape, okay, texture, ఇవన్నిటిని కలుపుకుంటే, okay, and chemical composition. Okay, సో ఈ మొత్తాన్ని కలిపి మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే చేంజ్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఎనీ ఆల్టరేషన్ ఇన్ ఫిజికల్ ఆర్ కెమికల్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద సబ్స్టెన్స్ ఈస్ కన్సిడర్డ్ యాజ్ చేంజ్. అండర్స్టాండ్ ఎవరీవన్? వాట్ ఈస్ చేంజ్? ఎనీ ఆల్టరేషన్ in physical properties and chemical composition of the substance is considered as change. Understand? So these changes are two types. How many types are there among changes? Only two types. Physical change and the second one is chemical change. Okay, so physical change, change in physical state, change in physical state or mass, physical appearance, mass, volume, texture, etc. is considered as physical change. Okay, so there is no change in the chemical composition. There is no change in the chemical composition, no change in color, no change in odor. Odor means smell, and no change in taste. Okay, only change happens in physical state. So what is meant by physical state? Either the given substance is solid, liquid or gas. And mass. So what is it? Mass. If there is a change in mass, so we consider it as a physical change. Okay. And volume. Volume means three-dimensional. And texture. Texture means softness or hardness. Okay. So if there is any change in the properties like state, mass, volume, texture, etc., the change is considered as physical change. Clear? For example, if you take ice, ice will convert into water, water will be converted into water vapor. So here what are the physical states of ice? Ice is solid at room temperature, water is liquid at room temperature, and water vapor is gas at room temperature. But there is no change in chemical composition. So ice chemical formula is H2O, water also it is H2O, and water vapor also it is H2O. So there is no difference in chemical composition. So all the three states, the formula of formula is H2O only. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Understand everyone? If any change appears in the form of physical state, mass, volume or texture, then we will consider it as a physical change. Clear? And coming to chemical change. So, if the alteration takes place in the taste, okay, or color, odor, chemical components, then we will consider it as a chemical change. Understand everyone? So, you get number taste. For example, if you take water, what is its taste? It is tasteless. If we add a teaspoon of salt or sugar to the water, the taste will become, if we add salt, it will be salty. If we add sugar, it will be sweeter. Understand? So there, we don't see, after dissolving salt or sugar, we don't see the components. But the taste will be different. Taste is different. Understand? And color also changes somehow. For chemical change, if chemical change takes place, color also different. Odor. Odor means smell. And chemical components. Chemical components means chemical formula. So if anything changes in the taste, color, odor, chemical components, then we can say it as a chemical change. So it is a majority of chemical changes are what type of changes? Permanent changes. Some changes are there, they are only temporary changes. Okay. Next example, milk changing into curd. Milk will change into curd. Okay. So what is its physical state? Milk here, liquid, curd, semi-liquid state. Okay. So milk will have some odor and curd will have sorry, pulpu vasana vastadi. Sorry, odor. Okay. So in a chemical change, there is always a new substance is formed. Underline this word on the. So how do we identify a chemical change? Means if a new substance is formed, then we can say it as a chemical change. Clear? So that is addition or subtraction of atoms takes place in a or chemical composition is changed. Chemical composition is changed. Understand? For example, if you take hydrogen and oxygen, both are gases. So hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is a gas. Okay. So if you burn hydrogen gas in the presence of oxygen, what we will get? We will get water, H2O, which is a liquid at room temperature. Understand? So here new substance is formed. What type of a substance? New substance. Similarly, magnesium plus oxygen. Magnesium ribbon is burnt in air. What will happen? A grey color ash, which is called magnesium oxide, it will form. Grey color ash. So here also two substances are combining to form a single substance, which is a new substance. Clear? So these type of changes are called as chemical changes. Okay, everyone understand what is the difference between physical change and chemical change? Okay. Okay, students. Now we will discuss about law of conservation of mass. So all the chemical changes and reactions are based on law of conservation of mass. Understand? So law of conservation of mass was proposed by Anthony Lavoisier. So he is a famous scientist. He proposed the law of conservation of mass. So what is the law of conservation of mass? In a chemical reaction, mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Understand? So any chemical change or in a chemical reaction, mass, it cannot be created or it cannot be destroyed. Understand everyone? Mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay. So but what we can do with the mass? Mass ante endamma? So the amount of the matter present in the substance is called mass. Okay. but but can be changed to one form to another form. So it can be changed into one form to another form. For example, if a solid substance is there, it should be converted into liquid, or liquid it will be converted into gas, or gas will be converted into solid or liquid. Understand? Or everyone understand? In a chemical reaction or in a chemical change, mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, but it can be changed from one form to another form, or in other words. Okay, so in a chemical reaction, total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. Okay, so this statement you have to learn them. So what is law of conservation of mass means? In a chemical reaction or chemical change, the total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. So this statement is very, very important for balancing chemical reactions. Understand? So what are the reactants? We have already discussed reactants and products. What are meant by reactants? Reactants and Indiamma, the substances which participate in a chemical change are called as reactants, and the substances which are formed in a chemical change are called products. Everyone understand? So see the example, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. So this is a chemical change, and if you see, it is a balanced chemical reaction. It is a balanced chemical reaction. So in balanced chemical reaction, number of hydrogen atoms. Okay, here I am writing. So hydrogens, reactants side, how many hydrogens are there, Amma? Total 2 into 2, 4 hydrogens are there. 4 hydrogens are there. Understand? So oxygens, see, oxygens how many are there? Oxygen, for oxygen gas, the atomicity is 2. So two atoms of oxygen combine to form oxygen gas. So reactants, there are 2 oxygen atoms. Okay, and product side, if you check product side in water, what is the combination of water? Chemical formula 2:1 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen. So two atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So now if you calculate number of hydrogens, H2 into 2, 2 into 2, 4. So 4 hydrogens are there, and oxygens 1 into 2, 2. Oxygens also 2. So if you compare both the atoms on left hand side and right hand side, okay, so atoms on left hand side and right hand side, the number of atoms which are present in LHS and RHS are same. Then we will call it as a chemical balanced chemical equation. Okay. So here also the total mass of the reactants must be equal to total mass of the products. Understand? Similarly, for calcium reacts with oxygen to give calcium oxide. Calcium reacts with oxygen to give calcium oxide. So here LHS, how many calcium atoms are there? 2. Oxygens are how many? 2. And the product side, RHS, how many calciums are there? 1 into 2, 2. And oxygens also 2. Okay. So everyone understand? This is the law of conservation of mass. Okay. So total mass of the, in a chemical reaction, total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. This is very, very easy statement, Amma. Okay, so you can learn it very easily. So in 1 marks, so define what is meant by law of conservation of mass, or define law of conservation of mass. In a chemical reaction, total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. Okay, everyone understand? Now we will so some important terminology we will discuss in for balancing a chemical reactions. Okay. So ఏం చెప్తున్నామమ్మా? So important terminology. Terminology means that frequently we what words we are using in the particular lesson. Okay. So see one equation H2 plus O2 gives H2O. Here products hydrogen. So what is its nature? Physical state. Hydrogen is a gas at room temperature. So we have to write here G. Okay. So oxygen is also a gas. So we will write G. And here water. So at the room temperature, water is a liquid. So we will write L. And if we balance the chemical reaction. Okay. So this is some balanced chemical equation. Here, so what information it is giving means hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas to form water. So which is a liquid at room temperature. Understand? Similarly, previous example, calcium which is a solid at room temperature. When it is calcium is burnt, okay, in the presence of oxygen. So which is a gas at room temperature gives white substance, white powdery substance called calcium oxide, which is a solid at room temperature. Okay. See, exams lo manaki ilanti equations are. Equation ichi what is the physical state of calcium? So what is the answer? The physical state of calcium is solid at room temperature. So anything we have asked means at the room temperature only. Okay na? So room temperature lo normal conditions lo dani yokka physical state enti. Okay. So calcium oxide. What is the physical state of calcium oxide? It is solid at room temperature. Understand everyone? Okay, see. So solids as a suffix we will write like this. Okay, solids S, liquids L, gases G, and some solutions are there. So example, aqueous. AU. Aqueous means AU. What is aqua? Aqua ante entamma water. Aqua means water. Aqueous solution. Aqueous solution. For example, if you take one glass of water, up to here water. So we have added some salt. So what is the solution now? It is so large amount of salt we have added, not little bit, large amount of salt. So now it is called salt formula is NaCl. NaCl aqueous solution. Sodium chloride AQ, aqueous solution. That means salt, sodium chloride salt, it is dissolved in water. It is dissolved in water. Similarly, if we add sugar, okay na? So sugar solution, okay, AQ. AQ means aqueous. Understand aqueous ante small quantity water, large amount of substance. Okay, solvent water, solute substance, salt or sugar or anything. Okay, so if it completely dissolves, then we will say it as a aqueous solution, AQ. Okay, one example also I will tell. Okay, see, next lesson we will get okay, so neutralization reaction. So HCl hydrochloric acid, okay, plus sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, it will be available as, okay, pellets. Small substances will be available, pellet. Okay, sodium hydroxide, okay, gives NaCl plus H2O. NaCl plus H2O. Here salt, it is dissolved in water. So other words, we can write it as NaCl(aq). Okay, NaCl(aq). The salt which is formed is dissolved in water. Acid reacts with base to give salt and water. Okay, so here NaCl is a solid and the water is a liquid at room temperature. Okay, so these two will dissolve each other. Okay, then what will happen? NaCl aqueous form is formed. Okay, NaCl aqueous form. Understand? So what is it? Aqueous solution, AQ. Okay, next very important, precipitate. Okay, so what is it, Amma? Precipitate. So some reactions are there. So in further classes we will learn what is meant by precipitate. The insoluble salt which is formed in a, okay, the insoluble salt which is formed in a chemical change is called precipitate. Okay, so it is denoted as PPT or downward arrow. If in a product side, if any gas is released, then we will write it as upward arrow. Only in product side. Okay, not as in the reactant side. Understand? So here, what is the example for precipitate reactions? Barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate. So actually barium chloride is a salt. Okay, so sodium sulfate is also a salt, but what we this activity we have learned in 9th class. Okay, so in atoms and molecules, first or second activity, law of conservation of mass. So these two aqueous solutions are mixed together, then what will form? NaCl(aq) plus barium sulfate. Barium sulfate precipitate. So what is its color? White. What is its color? White. Okay. So it is a balanced chemical reaction. It is a balanced chemical reaction. So barium chloride aqueous solution mixed with sodium sulfate aqueous solution. Then what will form? Sodium chloride aqueous solution with barium sulfate white color precipitate. White color precipitate. If you take, if you mix these two in a test tube, okay. So what are we mixing? Barium chloride and sodium sulfate. Both are transparent liquids. Both are transparent liquids. Okay, what will happen after mixing? So a transparent solution is formed. Okay, at the bottom, okay, white color precipitate is formed. That white substance which is barium sulfate. So it will not dissolve in water. It is a salt, but it is not dissolved in water. The insoluble salt, which is the insoluble. Insoluble means karagakunda undetvanti, which is formed in a chemical reaction, is called precipitate. Understand everyone? So it is a precipitate. Okay, and then in some reactions, what will happen? In some chemical reactions, heat energy is liberated. Those reactions are called exothermic reactions. In a chemical chain, if heat energy is released or liberated, evolve, then the reactions are called exothermic. There we will write as okay, delta or H. Okay, na? So plus H. So delta is heat, symbol for heat, or plus Q, heat energy, or heat energy plus H. So why we are giving a plus symbol means it is released. Okay. So if in a chemical reaction, the chemical reaction takes place by absorbing heat energy. Understand? The reactions are called endothermic reactions. ఒక కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ జరగాలి, హీట్ ఎనర్జీని తీసుకోవడం జరిగింది. సో హీట్ ఎనర్జీ తీసుకోకపోతే కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ జరగదు. ఓకే, సో దోస్ రియాక్షన్స్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్ ఎండోథర్మిక్ రియాక్షన్స్. దేర్ we will write minus delta or minus Q or minus H. Okay, so this common terminology we will use for balancing chemical reactions. And what information we are getting, okay, so by seeing these symbols, understand? That also we will discuss in further classes. So for solids, in suffix S, liquids L, gases G. If the gas is formed in the product side, released, then upward arrow. Aqueous solution AQ, precipitate PPT. Okay, and if heat energy is released, we will write this plus delta or plus Q or plus H. If heat energy is absorbed, minus delta, minus Q or minus H. These are all some important terminology we will discuss in our lesson. Understand everyone? Next we will learn how to balance a chemical reactions. Okay. So till now what we have discussed, what is a physical change, what is a chemical change, and some important information regarding chemical changes. Okay, common terminology what we use, and next law of conservation of mass. Okay, so all chemical changes depend on law of conservation of mass. Now we will see what is a chemical equation. We have understand what is a chemical change or chemical reaction. Both are same. So chemical equation, a chemical reaction which is represented in the form of symbols and formula of reactants and products is called a chemical equation. Understand? So try to understand the definition of. So what we have written, a chemical reaction which is represented, అంటే ఒక కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ మనం ఎలా చూపించాలి, షార్ట్ కట్ మెథడ్. ఓకే, షార్ట్ కట్ మెథడ్ ఆఫ్ ఏ కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ ఏ ఫామ్ లో చూపించాలి, నాట్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ సెంటెన్స్, బై యూజింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ సింబల్స్ అండ్ ఫార్ములే ఆఫ్ రియాక్టెంట్స్ అండ్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్. అండర్స్టాండ్? సో for example, hydrogen gas, this is a chemical change or chemical reaction. Hydrogen gas is burnt in presence of oxygen, then water is formed. That is a chemical change. So this is in the sentence form, word form. So here this reaction we are written in the form of equation. What is hydrogen gas? H2. Hydrogen gas H2, and okay, so reaction we have given symbol plus, and oxygen O2 gas. So gives 2H2O. Understand? 2H2O. So it is called a chemical equation. So by using the Okay, symbols and formula of the reactants and products. Okay, if you write the chemical reaction, okay, then it is called a chemical equation. Then it is called a chemical equation. Understand? So a chemical reaction which is represented or written in the form of symbols and formula of reactants and products is called a chemical equation. So H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. It is a chemical equation. Okay. So word form, how we will write? Hydrogen gas is burned in the presence of oxygen to form water. Okay. So here also you should not read amma. ఎలా చదవాలి అంటే hydrogen reacts with oxygen to give water నే చదవాలి. Understand? You should not read like H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. Okay, అలా చదివితే మీకు ఎప్పటికీ కెమిస్ట్రీ ఈక్వేషన్స్ రావు. క్లియర్? సో ఏం చదవాలి? హైడ్రోజన్ రియాక్ట్స్ విత్ ఆక్సిజన్ టు గివ్ వాటర్. Understand? So you should not read like H2 plus O2 gives H2O. Clear? So by pronouncing the name of the substance only we have to read. While writing, you can write H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O after balancing. Clear? See. So you don't understand what is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction which is written in the form of symbols and formula of the reactants and products, then it is called a chemical equation. Clear? See next balanced chemical equation. Okay, so chemical equation అంటే ఏంటి? రియాక్షన్ లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసే రియాక్టెంట్స్ ఫార్మ్ అయ్యే ప్రొడక్ట్స్ ని మనం ఎలా రాయాలి? వాటి యొక్క సింబల్స్ ఫార్ములాస్ అప్లై చేస్తే దాన్ని కెమికల్ ఈక్వేషన్ అంటాం. క్లియర్? సో ఇప్పుడు బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ కెమికల్ ఈక్వేషన్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ మెant by balanced chemical equation means if the total number of atoms present on LHS left hand side is equal to total number of atoms present on RHS, then the reactions are called balanced chemical equation. Clear? So this is a very important number. So one example I am writing here. So previous example only. Okay, otherwise we will take another example. Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia. This is a chemical reaction or chemical change. So here we are writing first chemical equation for the given reaction. Okay, so what is it? Nitrogen N2 plus reacts with hydrogen H2 gives ammonia. Ammonia formula is NH3. This is the chemical equation for the given reaction. Okay, so N2 plus H2 gives NH3. You don't understand? So now if you check, so what are the reactants here? Nitrogen and hydrogen are the reactants, and single substance is formed. Ammonia is the product. Okay, ammonia is the product. Okay, now if you add on LHS side, take on LHS side, how many elements are there? And here RHS side. Okay, element. So one small table we are writing here. Okay, element nitrogen or N. Second one is total how many hydrogen. Only 2 atoms are there. So on LHS side, how many nitrogens are there, amma? ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి LHS side లో? Reactant side లో ఎన్ని nitrogens ఉన్నాయి? N2. 2 ఉన్నాయి, N2. Okay, that means on LHS side, how many nitrogen atoms are there? 2. On LHS side, hydrogens, how many are there? Hydrogens also 2. Okay, so 2 plus 2 4 we have written nitrogen and hydrogen. Okay, coming to product side, RHS. Okay, how many nitrogens are there in NH3? Only nitrogen is 1 and the 3 HDM hydrogen atoms. So nitrogen is 1, hydrogen is 3. Understand how we have written? So this box is very important. So left hand side, nitrogens 2, hydrogens 2. From the product side, LHS, RHS, nitrogens how many are there? 1 and hydrogens how many are there? H3. So hydrogens are 3. Clear? Now what is the definition? For balanced chemical equation, number of atoms on LHS is equal to number of atoms on RHS. So here both are same. So here LHS 2 are there. In RHS how many are there? 2. Okay. So first step, what we have to do? We have to write the skeleton equation for the given reaction. Step 1. What is the step 1? Skeleton equation. Skeleton equation means unbalanced chemical equation. Unbalanced chemical equation. So this is the skeleton equation. N2 plus H2 gives NH3. It is skeleton equation. Second, what we have taken? The table. So LHS how many elements are there? RHS how many elements are there? We have taken. Clear? Now step 2, balancing. So in any equation, you should remember only one thing. Other than hydrogen and oxygen, you have to balance first. Hydrogen and oxygen pakan petti, ఏది బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయాలి? స్టార్టింగ్ నైట్రోజన్, అదర్ దెన్ హైడ్రోజన్ అండ్ ఆక్సిజన్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయమ్మా? ఓన్లీ 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి హైడ్రోజన్, నైట్రోజన్. ఫస్ట్ దేన్ని బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయాలి? అదర్ దాన్ హైడ్రోజన్ అన్నాం కాబట్టి హైడ్రోజన్ ని మినహాయించి మిగిలిన చేయాలి. సో ఫస్ట్ ఏముంది ఇక్కడ? ఓన్లీ నైట్రోజన్. సో నైట్రోజన్ LHS సైడ్ లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? 2. RHS సైడ్ లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? 1. సో LHS సైడ్ లో 2 ఉన్నాయి, RHS సైడ్ లో 1. సో ఈ 1 ని దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే 2 వస్తుంది. 1 ని దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే 2 వస్తుంది. సో 1 ని 2 తో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే 2 వస్తుంది. అంతే కదా? సో నౌ we will place here. So this is a step 1. Okay, so step 2, okay, step 1 is skeleton equation. Step 2, balancing nitrogen. Balancing nitrogen. So nitrogen how many are there at LHS? 2. RHS only 1. So now we will write the equation N2 plus H2 gives NH3. Okay. So ఇప్పుడు 2 తో మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి కాబట్టి ఇది కాంపౌండ్ అమ్మా. అమోనియా అనేది ఒక కాంపౌండ్ NH3. సో ఇప్పుడు 2 రాయాలి కాబట్టి ఎక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేయాలి అంటే ఇక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేస్తేనే కరెక్ట్ అయింది. అర్థమైందా? సో ఇది మొత్తము ఒకటే, సింగిల్ సబ్స్టెన్స్. NH3 అనేది సింగిల్ సబ్స్టెన్స్. అంతేగాని మనము సో ఇక్కడ 2 ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి N2H3 అని రాస్తే ఇది రాంగ్. 2 అనేది ఇక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేయకూడదు. ఎక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేయాలి? ప్రిఫిక్స్ లో ప్లేస్ చేయాలి. ఎక్కడ రాయాలమ్మా? దాన్ని ప్రిఫిక్స్ ముందు రాయాలి. అర్థమైందా? సో ముందు రాసినప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేస్తాం? 2 ని ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ప్లేస్ చేస్తాం, అంతేగాని ఇక్కడ రాయకూడదు. ఓకే, దీన్ని మనం అసలు ఏం మార్చడానికి లేదమ్మా. NH3 ఈజ్ ఏ కాంపౌండ్. ఓకేనా? సో దానికి ఫార్ములా కాన్స్టెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది, ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళినా కానీ NH3 గా ఉంటుంది, దాన్ని మార్చకూడదు. సో ఏం చేయాలి, దాన్ని మార్చుకోవడానికి నెంబర్స్ ఏమి ఉండాలి అంటే ముందు 2 ప్లేస్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, సి ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఈ టేబుల్ దగ్గర రండమ్మా, మళ్ళీ టేబుల్ వేయాలి. ఓకే, సో సెకండ్ టైం మళ్ళీ టేబుల్ తీసుకుంటే ఎలిమెంట్ LHS RHS నైట్రోజన్స్, LHS 2, RHS ఇప్పుడు కౌంట్ చేయడమ్మా, ఇక్కడ 1 ఉంది, 1 × 2 2. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ హైడ్రోజన్స్ ఇక్కడ మనం LHS లో ఏం డిఫరెన్స్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి సేమ్ ఏ వస్తాయి. RHS లో చూడండమ్మా, ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక ఇక్కడ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి హైడ్రోజన్స్, 3 ఉన్నాయి, కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి హైడ్రోజన్స్, ఇక్కడ 3 × 2, 3 2s ఎంత 6. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ఏది బ్యాలెన్స్ అయింది, మనకి ఒక ఎలిమెంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అయిపోయింది, నైట్రోజన్స్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అయింది. అర్థమైందా? నైట్రోజన్స్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అయింది. సో ఇక బ్యాలెన్స్ అవ్వాల్సింది ఏంటి అంటే హైడ్రోజన్స్. సో ఇప్పుడు హైడ్రోజన్స్ చూస్తే LHS లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయమ్మా, LHS దగ్గర 2 ఉన్నాయి, RHS దగ్గర ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి 6. RHS దగ్గర ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి 6. సో ఇప్పుడు LHS లో కూడా 6 రావాలి, LHS లో కూడా ఎన్ని రావాలమ్మా 6. సో LHS లో 6 రావాలి అంటే 2 ని దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే 6 వస్తుంది, 2 ని దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే, యాడ్ కాదు. సో 2 + 4 6, ఎడిషన్ చేయకూడదు. దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేయాలమ్మా, 3 తోటి మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి. 2 3s 6, 2 3s. సో ఇక్కడ మనం 3 తోటి మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి, అర్థమైందా? అప్పుడు 6 వస్తుంది. సో స్టెప్ 3, బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ హైడ్రోజన్. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ రియాక్షన్ ఏంటమ్మా, సేమ్ రియాక్షన్, N2 + H2 gives 2NH3. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ హైడ్రోజన్ కాబట్టి ఇందాక అనుకున్నాం కదా. సో ఇక్కడ RHS లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి 6, LHS లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి 2. సో ఈ 2 6 గా మారాలి అంటే 2 ని దేంతో మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి, 3 తోటి. 2 3s 6. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, ఇక్కడ 3 రాశాం, ఇక్కడ మార్చకూడదు, 2 దగ్గర 6 రాయకూడదు. ఓకే, అది అసలు దొరకదు. సో H2 ఉంది, దాన్ని ముందు ప్రిఫిక్స్ లో 3 పెట్టాం. సో ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, మళ్ళీ టేబుల్ వేస్తే మళ్ళీ సేమ్ ఎలిమెంట్ LHS RHS, నైట్రోజన్ హైడ్రోజన్ 2 2 6 6. సో 3 2s 6, 3 2s 6. సో నైట్రోజన్స్ ఆల్రెడీ బ్యాలెన్స్ అయిపోయింది, పైన ఇక్కడే బ్యాలెన్స్ అయింది నైట్రోజన్స్. హైడ్రోజన్స్ తీసుకుంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ బ్యాలెన్స్ అయింది. సో total number of elements on LHS is equal to total number of elements on RHS. Okay, left hand side లో ఎన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయో రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ లో కూడా సేమ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ వస్తాయి. అండర్స్టాండ్? సో నౌ ద గివెన్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఇస్ బ్యాలెన్స్డ్. క్లియర్? అందరికీ అర్థమైందా? ఓకేనా? సో ఇక్కడ మనకి ఈక్వేషన్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని అవి 3 స్టెప్స్ వస్తాయా, 5 స్టెప్స్ వస్తాయా, లేదా 6 స్టెప్స్ వస్తాయా అనేది మనం చేసే ప్రాసెస్ ని బట్టి ఉంటుంది. సో ప్రతి స్టెప్ కి ఫస్ట్ దగ్గర మనం ఒక టేబుల్ వేసాం, తర్వాత బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ నైట్రోజన్ అన్నాము, నైట్రోజన్ బ్యాలెన్స్ చేసాం. ఓకే, తర్వాత మళ్ళీ టేబుల్ వేసాం, బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ చేసి ఈక్వేషన్ వేసాము, దీన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని టేబుల్ వేసాం. ఓకే, ఈ టేబుల్ ఫస్ట్ రియాక్షన్ ని బేస్ చేసి వేయలేదు. ఓకే, తర్వాత స్టెప్ 3 బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ హైడ్రోజన్. సో హైడ్రోజన్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకున్నాము, మళ్ళా ఇక్కడ మార్చాం హైడ్రోజన్స్, దీన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ టేబుల్ వేసాం. సో టేబుల్ వేసుకొని చెక్ చేసాం, ఏది అన్ని బ్యాలెన్స్ అయిపోయాయి. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాము, దట్ ఈవెన్ టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆర్ LHS is equal to RHS, hence the equation is balanced. Hence the equation is balanced. 3 to 5 steps or 6 steps లో complete అయిపోయింది equation. Okay, balancing of equations. Okay, everyone understand? So one equation I am giving here. Okay, so homework you should write. Okay, now this reaction you write down. Okay, what is the reaction? Ethane reacts with oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this is the chemical reaction. Ethane reacts with oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this you do homework. So in next class we will discuss again. Okay, so C2H6 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. So total how many elements are there? Atoms. How many atoms are there? One is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Here also carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. Okay, so this for this is the skeleton equation I have given. So basing on the skeleton equation, first table you have to write and then select one element. Okay, other than hydrogen, oxygen. So first you select balancing carbon. Okay, and again you draw the table and then you select hydrogen. Finally you select oxygen. Clear? So you practice it. Okay, tomorrow, so in the next class we will deal another 2 examples on the balancing of chemical equations. Okay, thank you.